Why I wrote before the cock crows. This recording explains why I wrote before the cock crows, alternatively titled The Daily Diary of the Trojan Horse International Mission to the Philippines. It covers the period from the 30th of September 2002 to the 18th of July 2003 and records day by day the second Trojan Horse Mission to the Philippines. This book is not a memoir written years later, nor a theological treatise composed in hindsight. It is a contemporaneous diary written as events unfold, recording missionary work, doctrinal conflict, opposition to the gospel, and the personal costs that accompanied those labours. The purpose of this publication is to induce the reader to some of the serious conflicts encountered during that mission. While the work involved preaching the gospel, baptisms, teaching, and pastoral care, it also involved sustained resistance, not chiefly from the unbelieving world, but from within the religious sphere itself. At that time, I was serving as Honorary Director of Trojan Horse International Christian Mission, together with Michael Clark and Gordon Smith, the mission pastor. By honorary, I mean that none of us were paid. We were sent men, accountable before God, seeking to fulfill that commission to preach the gospel of Christ. Much of the opposition we faced arose within Bilibid Prison, the National Penitentiary of Muntinlupa City, where thousands of inmates were housed, including men under death sentence. The diary records how the gospel advanced despite resistance, obstruction, and doctrinal confusion, and how God proved again and again that salvation is of the Lord. This book also records the personal trials that ran parallel to the mission itself. Just weeks after leaving for the Philippines, divorce proceedings were initiated against me in the United Kingdom. Those matters are not included for sympathy, but honesty. They form part of the cost of the calling and part of the context in which the mission was conducted. The diary shows how the same doctrinal and practical errors I had encountered years earlier in the United Kingdom reappeared in different settings, among religious leaders who were not governed by Scripture nor by grace. It records these matters carefully, naming individuals where necessary, not out of malice, but for truth's sake and historical accuracy. In that sense, this book could rightly be described as a modern continuation of Acts 28. Not inspired scripture, but a record of gospel work, conflict, and perseverance in our own generation. For that reason, it stands naturally between Trojan Warriors and Acts 29 within this series. Before the Cock Crows is published in 3 parts, covering the full span of the mission from September 2002 to July 2003. It is an eyewitness account, written not to glorify men, but to testify that God triumphs, not by might, not by power, but by his Spirit. My hope is that this diary will serve as both a warning and an encouragement, a warning to those who oppose the truth of the gospel under religious guise, and an encouragement to those who labour faithfully, often unseen, trusting that the Lord will vindicate his own work in his name in due time.